Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rohini Sudhakar from Department of Continuing in Adult Education and Extension Work of SNDT Women's University. Today we are going to discuss module titled Social Action Movement, some important social action programs like Self-Employed Women's Association and Narmada Bachao Andolan, National Alliance for People's Movement. This module is authored by Dr. Keshav of Matru Seva Sangh Institute of Social Work, Nagpur. Social movements are any broad social alliance of people who are connected through their shared interest in blocking or affecting social change. Social movements do not have to be formally organized. Multiple alliances may work separately for common causes and still be considered as a social movement. Social movements are conscious, concentrated and sustained efforts by ordinary people to change some aspects of their society by using extra-institutional means. There are more conscious and organized than fads, fashions. They last longer than a single protest or riot. There is more to them than formal organizations, although such organizations usually play a part. They are composed mainly of ordinary people as opposed to army officers, politicians or economic elites. They need not be explicitly political, but many are. Social movements are one of the principal social forms through which collectivities give voice to their grievance, concerns about rights, welfare and well-being of themselves and others. By engaging various types of collective action such as protesting in the streets, riots, social movements have long functioned as an important vehicle for articulating and pressing a collectivity's interest and claims. Learning outcome of today's session is that after going through the module titled Social Action Movements, some important social action programs, Self-Employed Women's Association, that is SEVA, and Narmada Bachao Andolan, National Alliance for People's Movement, etc., learner would be able to know and understand the concept and various forms of social action movement in India. Its meaning and definition we'll see now. Social movements can be viewed as collective enterprise to establish a new order of life. They have their inception in the condition of unrest and derive their motive power on one hand from dissatisfaction with the current form of life and on the other hand from wishes and hopes for a new scheme or system of living. Herbert Blumer, rather than seeing social movements as expression of extremism, violence and deprivation, they are better defined as collective challenges based on common purposes and special solidarities in sustained interaction with elites, opponents and authorities. Sidney Taro has given this definition. A movement is not merely a perpetuated crowd, since a crowd does not possess organizational and motivational mechanism capable of sustaining membership through periods of interaction and waiting. Furthermore, crowd mechanism cannot be used to achieve communication and coordination of activity over a wide area, such as a nation or continent. In a number of pieces, Mario Diani and Beeson has mentioned that social movements are a distinct social process consisting of the mechanism through which actors engaged in collective action are involved in conflictual relations with clearly identified opponents, are linked by dense informal networks, share a distinct collective identity. Social movement is a collective, organized, sustained and non-institutional challenge to authorities, power holders or cultural beliefs and practices. Now we will see characteristics of social action movement. M.S.A. Rao, one of the prominent Indian sociologists, has made a mention of the nature of social movements in the book Social Movements in India. According to him, social movement includes 5 characteristics: collective action oriented towards social change, ideology behind the movement, organizational framework, the technical and its results. These are the considerable agreement among the sociologists towards the first 2 characteristics, and whereas they differ a lot regarding other 3 criteria. We will see them one by one. Collective action. Social movement undoubtedly involves collective action. However, this collective action takes the form of a movement only when it is sustained for a long time. This collective action need not be formally organized. It could be an informal attempt also, but it should be able to create an interest and awakening in relatively large number of people. Second one, social movement is oriented towards social change. A social movement is generally oriented towards bringing about social change. This change could either be partial or total. Through the movement, it is aimed to bring about a change in the values, norms, ideologies of the existing system. Efforts are also made by some other forces to resist the changes and to maintain the status quo. Ideology behind the movement. An important component of social movement is that distinguishes it from the general category of collective mobilization is the presence of an ideology. For example, a student strike involves collective mobilization and it is oriented towards change. But in the absence of an ideology, a student strike becomes an isolated event and not a movement. On the contrary, if the strike is committed to an ideology, it may last for longer period and assume the form of a movement. Organizational framework. As Paul Wilkinson has pointed out that a social movement requires a minimum of organizational framework to achieve success or at least to maintain the tempo of the movement, to make the distinction clear between the leaders and followers, to make clear the purpose of the movement, to persuade people to take part in it or to support it, to adopt different techniques to achieve the goals. A social movement must have some amount of organizational framework. The techniques and results. A social movement may adopt its own technique or method to achieve its goals. There is no certainty regarding it. It may follow peaceful or conflicting, violent or non-violent, compulsive or persuasive, democratic or undemocratic means or methods to reach its goal. The same thing is true of the results. It may become successful or it may fail. It may become partial success or at least it may create a general awakening in the public regarding an issue. The result of a movement has a close bearing on the ideology and the organizational framework. Now we'll see the features of social movement. Some of the features of social movement are as follows. First is the sense of belonging and group consciousness is very important for a social movement. Such consciousness can be brought about through active participation of the group members. Social movements lead to the creation of an identity, new social, economic and political order. Most of the social movements tend to develop a new set of ideas which become obligatory for the members of the group to adopt and follow. It is obvious that the social movements involve collective action rather than individual action. Social movements may be organized or unorganized. Social movements may be peaceful in nature or they may also turn violent. The aim of a social movement is to bring about or resist social change in the society. The life of the social movement is not certain. This is because it may continue for a long period or it may die out soon. Causes of social movements. According to Vidya Bhushan Sachdev, Social movements do not just happen. It is social unrest which gives rise to a social movement. The social unrest may be caused by the following factors. First is cultural drifts. The society undergoes constant changes. The values and behavior are changing all the time in civilized societies. In the course of cultural drift, most people develop new ideas. To get these ideas operative in the society, they organize a movement. The development of a democratic society, the emancipation of women, the spread of mass education, the removal of untouchability, the equality of opportunity for both the sexes, and the growth of secularism are some examples of cultural drift. Social disorganization. A changing society is to some extent disorganized because changes in different parts of the society do not take place simultaneously. One part changes more rapidly than the other, thereby producing numerous lags. Industrialization has brought about urbanization, which in turn has caused numerous social problems. Social disorganization brings confusion and uncertainty because the old traditions no longer form a dependable guide to behavior and individuals become rootless. They feel isolated from society. A feeling develops that the community leaders are indifferent to their needs. Individuals feel insecure, confused, and frustrated. Confusion and frustration lead to social movements. Social injustice. When a group of people feel that injustice was done to them, they become frustrated and alienated. Such feeling of injustice provides fertile soil for social movements. The feeling of social injustice is not limited to the miserable poor. Any group at any status level may come to feel itself the victim of social injustice. The wealthy class may feel a sense of injustice when faced with urban property selling law or high taxes intended to benefit the poor. Social injustice is a subjective value judgment. A social system is unjust when it is so perceived by its members. Thus, social movements occur whenever such kind of social situation arises. In a stable and well integrated society, the chances for social movements are very rare. It is understood that people living in such a society are contented and satisfied. In a disorganized and continuously changing society, social movements occur more frequently as most people are dissatisfied with the existing conditions. Lack of social justice also makes people dissatisfied and paves the way for social movements. Modern society is more afflicted with social movements than the earlier societies. Now we'll see theory of social movements. Deprivation theory. William Kornhauser advocated the mass society theory in 1959. People experiencing relative deprivation begin social movement. The social movement is a means of seeking change that bring participants greater benefits. Social movements especially arise when rising expectations are frustrated. Mass society theory. This theory was well explained by Karl Marx. People who lack established social ties are mobilized into social movements. Periods of social breakdown are likely to spawn social movements. The social movement gives members sense of belonging and social participation. Structural strength theory. People come together because of their shared concern about the inability of the society to operate as they believe it should. The growth of a social movement reflects many factors, including a belief in its legitimacy and some precipitating event that provokes action. Resource mobilization theory. People may join for all the reasons noted above and also because of social ties with the existing members. The success or failure of a social movement depends largely on the resources available to it and also the extent of opposition within the larger society is important. New social movement theory. People who become part of social movements are motivated by quality of life issue, not necessarily economic concern. Mobilization is national or international in scope. New social movement arise in response to the expansion of the mass media and new information technology. Now we will see stages in social movements. Though one social movement differs from another, almost all social movements go through similar stages. They are as follows given by Maxion in his book. First stage is emergence, stage 2 is coalescence, that is blending union, stage 3 is bureaucratization, stage 4 decline. We will see these stages one after another. Stage 1 is emergence. The perception that all is not well triggers off social movements. Widespread dissatisfaction becomes the basis of other movements. Sometimes a small vanguard group increases public awareness on some issue and makes it a prominent public issue. Stage 2 coalescence, that is blending union. Once a social issue has emerged as a movement, it must define itself and develop a strategy for going public. The leaders must determine policies and tactics, and there should be a drive to recruit new members. At this stage, collective action such as demonstration or rallies must be organized to attract public and media attention. Alliances with other organizations should be formed in order to gain necessary resources. Stage 3 is bureaucratization. A social movement must take on bureaucratic traits in order to become a political force. As it becomes established, the movement starts depending on the talent and charisma of its leaders and relies more on a capable staff. If movements do not become established in this manner, they may face the risk of dissolution. Sometimes bureaucratization can also hinder a social movement as leaders may become too involved in building up the organization and not concentrate on encouraging the members towards change. Stage 4, which is the last stage, that is decline. Over a period of time, social movements lose their importance and influence. Sometimes, if the goals of the movement are fulfilled, decline simply indicates success. Organizational factors such as poor leadership, loss of interest among members, or repressive authority may also lead to the demise of a movement. Sometimes a social movement declines because the established power structure diverts leaders from their goal through different means such as offer of money, prestige and other rewards. Co-optation or selling out is common and organizational leaders use their position to enrich themselves. Another cause for the decline of a social movement is repression. Participants may be threatened by officials who discourage new recruits and even by imprisoned leaders in order to crush a social movement. Sometimes a social movement can collapse because it may opt for going mainstream. Such movements may become an accepted part of system and no longer challenge the authorities or the status quo. Now we will see types of social movements. The classification of social movement is not easy, as a movement may have a mixed nature or may change completely at different stages during its career. However, the social movements are classified into millenarium, migratory, utopian, expressive, reformist, rebellion, revolutionary and resistance. A detailed discussion on all these social movements is given as follows. Millenarian movement. Millenarian movements are based on the belief of a religious, social or political group that a major transformation of society will occur, after which all the elements of or components of the society will be changed in a positive or sometimes negative direction. Millenarian groups typically claim that the current society and its rulers are corrupt, unjust or otherwise wrong. They therefore believe that they will be destroyed soon by a powerful force. The harmful nature of the status quo is always considered interactable without the anticipated dramatic change. For instance, in medieval millenarianism, the world was seen as controlled by demons, and this idea prevailed even up to the 19th century. Migratory movement. These movements take place when a large number of people leave one country and settle in some other place or country. The major reasons for mass migration may be discontent or dissatisfaction with the existing situations or circumstances, or looking for new opportunities for a bright future. Mere migration of people from one place to another cannot be called migratory movement. The Zionist movement, the Back to Israel movement, is known as Zionism, and the movement of people from East Germany to West Germany are some examples of migratory social movements. Utopian movement. A utopian movement is a movement which is expected to create an ideal social system or a perfect society which can only be imagined but cannot exist in reality. Utopian movements conceive man as good, cooperative and altruistic. The most successful utopian movement in the recent history is the Israeli kibbutz. Sarvodaya movement is another example of utopian movement. Next type of movement is expressive movement. Expressive movements arise when people are discontented and cannot easily change the unpleasant situation. That is, they feel powerless and cannot flee from the social system, with the result that the individual comes to terms with that unpleasant reality and changes his own reactions in order to make his life bearable. One of the best examples of expressive movement is hippie movement. Another type of social movement is reformist movement. A reform movement can be described as a mass movement that seeks to change only one specific aspect of a society. The reform movement is an attempt to modify some parts of the society without completely changing the whole system. Most of the reform movements are possible in democratic countries, as people have an opportunity to express their opinions and criticize the existing social institutions and can bring about some changes in them. The movement to abolish untouchability and dowry system and the movement to preserve wildlife are all examples of the reform movements. The next type of social movement is revolutionary movement. The revolutionary movement aims at overthrowing the existing social system and replacing it with a new one. Revolutionary movements are quite opposite to the reform movements. Revolutionists generally believe that reform is not possible under the existing social system. Usually, revolutionary movements arise when people have no other alternative to reform the social system other than changing it as a whole. Revolution serves as an alternative to the individuals to come out of their existing misery. The communist revolution in Russia and China are the examples of revolutionary movements. Resistance movement. A resistance movement can be described as a movement that arises not only for the purpose of instituting change but also to block change or to eliminate a previously instituted change. Revolutionary movements arise as people are dissatisfied and feel that the pace of social change is very slow, whereas resistance movements occur when people consider that the change is rapid. The movements against Hindi of Dravida Munnetra Kalagam is a typical example of resistance movement. Revivalist movement. A revivalist movement seeks to take the system back to its original pristine purity. Most of the movements try to involve people in the political process and bring about political awareness among the people. Some movements aim at bringing about a change in the lives of certain sections of society, such as the downtrodden as well as women. And we'll see these important social action programs one after another. First is Seva movement. We'll see the background of Seva movement. In 1972, Ela Bhatt founded the Self-Employed Women's Association, that is SEVA, as a trade union of self-employed women. In registering it as a trade union, SEVA faced major resistance because the Labour Department felt that since members had no employer, SEVA did not fit the model of trade union. After arguing that a union is not only for struggles against employers, but more importantly, it is for the unity of workers. SEVA was then finally registered as a trade union in 1972 with 320 members. It grew out of the Textile Labour Association, that's TLA, India's oldest and largest union of textile workers, founded in 1920 by a woman, Anusuya Sarabhai. The inspiration for the union came from Mahatma Gandhi, who led a successful strike of textile workers in 1917. SEVA adopts an integrated and need-based approach to organizing the poor self-employed women workers. Presently, it is a member-based movement of about 7 lakh poor informal sector women workers of India. SEVA movement covers 7 states of India. It exclusively works in 14 districts of Gujarat, covering 50% of the state of Gujarat. There are about 3,500 local producers group and 9 economic federations. Members represent more than 125 different kinds of trades. SEVA's main goals are to organize women workers for full employment. Full employment means employment whereby workers obtain work, security, income security, food security and social security. Practically, the strategy is carried out through the joint action of union and cooperatives. Gandhian thinking is the guiding force for SEVA's poor self-employed members in organizing for social change, following the principle of Satya, that is truth, Ahimsa, that is non-violence, Sarvadharma, integrating all faiths of people, and Khadi, propagation of local employment and self-reliance. The SEVA movement is enhanced by its being a Sangam or confluence of 3 movements, the labour movement, the cooperative movement and the women's movement. It is also a movement of self-employed workers, their own homegrown movement with women as the leaders. Through their own movement, women become strong and visible. The SEVA approach organizes women workers into trade groups, often helping them create cooperatives. They further help build their members' capacity through training on technical skills, leadership, and product development. These organizing services help empower working women by allowing them to demand higher wages, better prices, and better work conditions and also by increasing their productivities. Seva's approach in organizing rural members has been to identify the issue or needs of the communities, design demand-driven programs that strategically link with the existing government programs, thereby satisfy the needs of the communities. Seva's approach has been an integrated approach where various inputs are need not one after another, the other, but simultaneously. Seva thereby strategically links the producers and their demands to the market. Seva provides its members with both financial and social support through Seva's cooperative bank, governed, owned, or run mainly by the members themselves. Seva provides its members with access to low interest loans, the ability to develop saving accounts, and the opportunity to buy into various insurance schemes. Through several cooperatives and in some cases coordination with the government, Seva offers its members a variety of social services such as healthcare, childcare, literacy courses, better housing and access to water. Seva advocates on behalf of its members to local, national and international bodies demanding changes in laws to take into account self-employed women's critical role in labor force. Now we'll see outcomes of Seva movement. In reaching its own goals to empower self-employed women workers through full employment and self-reliance, Seva has succeeded. In terms of Seva's goal of its members, self-reliance, the data demonstrated that 60% of members reported significant increase in self-confidence after Seva trainings, and members felt an increase of 10 to 25 percentage points in household decision making power. With a starting membership of 320 in 1973, Seva's membership has increased tremendously. It has 12,56,944 registered members across India. While 50% of its members is based in the starting state of Gujarat, the other 50% are dispersed across 11 states. John Blaxall, in his report for the World Bank, points out to 4 key factors in explaining Seva's success: its leadership, flexibility, values and organizing strategy. Rekha Datta, in her 2003 article on Seva, attributed Seva's success to the working women finding suitable strategies for themselves. Nitya Rao, in her analysis, lists 14 factors from its training to how it handles internal conflicts. While they all point to the strategies that were very influential in Seva's success, Seva was able to emerge very successfully because it provided selective incentives to self-employed women, fostered a common identity and shared purpose between the women, and ensured its continuity through democratic governance and diversified success of funding. Now we'll see another social movement named Narmada Bachao Andolan. We'll see its background. Narmada Bachao Andolan social movement includes tribal people, Adivasis, farmers, environmentalists and human rights activists against the Sardar Sarovar Dam being built across the Narmada River, Gujarat, India, displacement of 250,000 people from their land in 3 states, that's Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, and loss of agricultural land and forest of approximately 37,000 hectares was the main issue of this Narmada Bachao Andolan. Focus of movement is that saving the trees and the fauna, rehabilitation of the poor people living around the area. This movement was started in 1986 when the World Bank lent India $450 million for Sardar Sarovar project. Movement started by a social worker named Medha Patkar. As leader and co-founder of Narmada Bachao Andolan movement, she has been spearheading the movement against the building of Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada River in Gujarat, giving particular attention to the rehabilitation of the poor who are being displaced by the project. The Narmada Bachao Andolan's approach. The success of Narmada Bachao Andolan campaign resulted from its innovative strategies of resistance that operated simultaneously at the grassroots, national and international level. While Narmada Bachao Andolan originally employed Gandhian methods such as peaceful marches and protests, after a high-profile hunger fast in 1991 failed, the Narmada Bachao Andolan announced a non-cooperation movement in the Narmada Valley. This movement campaigned against the payment of taxes and sought to identify entry to the villages to all the government officials except teachers and doctors. Strategies include legal challenges, demonstrations, civil disobedience and other non-violent tactics. Large-scale protests at home were complemented by international interventions abroad. Lori Udall, then with the Environmental Defense Fund, led the international campaign against the Sardar Sarovar Dam and implemented a multi-pronged strategy of public pressure, organizing media outreach and lobbying. A Narmada International Action Committee consisting of NGOs from India, the United States, Canada, Europe, Australia and Japan lobbied against the Narmada project in several investing countries, which helped focus international and national attention on the Narmada issue. Now we'll see the outcomes of Narmada Bachao Andolan. Apart from bringing the dam displacement issue to national and international attention, the Narmada Bachao Andolan has succeeded in bringing women out of homes to stand shoulder to shoulder with their menfolk at the forefront of resistance. The Narmada Bachao Andolan has succeeded in uniting people across the language divide of the three affected states. The World Bank announced in June 91 that it would commission a team of independent experts known as the Morse Commission to re-examine the Sardar Sarovar project. The Commission's independent review had two aims: to assess steps taken to resettle those affected by Sardar Sarovar Dam and to assess the efficacy of measures aimed at diminishing the project's environmental impact. The Narmada Bachao Andolan's influence in the social and economic areas in redefining development in the face of rampant and destructive corporate-driven industrialization has been proportionately large. Now we'll see National Alliance for People's Movements. We'll see the background of National Alliance for People's Movement, that it is an alliance of progressive people's organization and movements in India. It struggled across India against injustice and several other discrimination. It led protests on various issues like anti-globalization, anti-nuclear movement and electoral reforms. National Alliance for People's Movements is on the forefront of people's resistance against development projects in the country for the last 20 years now. It struggles along with Dalit, Adivasi women, fisher communities, minorities and other marginalized groups to bring about social, political, and economic justice based on equality, that is samata, simple living, sadgi, and self-reliance, that is swavalamban. National Alliance of People movements believe in non-violent means of struggle, people's democracy, and respecting the individual identities of diverse people's movements. Struggle along with reconstruction through alternative politics is our vision. Many independent movements have felt the need to come together as a collective while retaining their individual identities to struggle against the imperialist global forces. Thus was the genesis of National Alliance of People's Movement in 1922 by various movements in India, including Narmada Bachao Andolan, National Fish Workers Forum, Samajwadi Jana Parishad, Ganga Mukti Andolan, Shoshit Jana Andolan, Sarva Seva Sangh, and many others. The National Alliance of People's Movement approach, we'll see this approach, based on common strategies, programs, and common minimum ideological understanding while respecting the diverse ideologies that influence the people's movement, including Gandhian, Ambedkarite, Lohiyats, feminists, and Marxists. National Alliance of People's movements aspire to develop a discourse of harmonious relationship among various communities based on true democracy and pluralism and against the threat of fundamentalism and communalism. National Alliance of People's Movements ideology is an ongoing and evolving process, constantly changing and adapting to situations around us. It challenges the various organizations such as the World Trade Organization, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund. It stands out as a unique force of people's politics that challenges present corrupt and criminal electoral politics in India. National Alliance of People's Movement believe that social transformation needs a multi-pronged strategy. National Alliance of People's Movement thus uses 4 tools to bringing about social change: that's values and thought, struggle, reconstruction, and electoral politics. Outcome of National Alliance of People's Movement. In 1996, national wide tour leading to a convention at Wardha, where over 300 people representing 100 organizations and 17 states gathered to develop strategies to give an organizational form to National Alliance of People movements and to initiate state-wise process. Struggle against Enron Corporation, which is a corrupt US-based power generation multinational corporation, that is MNC, and Coca-Cola launched. In 1998, anti-nuclear movement and a 4-month global peace march from Pokhran, Rajasthan to Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh. In 2003, initiation of Desh Bachao, Desh Banao, Save the Nation, Build a Nation campaign was organized, a 3-month long tour covering 15 states of India and culminating at Ayodhya to evolve a national movement was organized. In 2004, formation of People's Political Front. Some of the constituents of NAPM had a strong belief that in order to bring about social change, it was imperative to get directly involved in electoral politics along with people's movements. This idea has a long drawn process within the National Alliance of People's Movement strategy. Ultimately, it was decided that National Alliance of People's Movement should retain its autonomous identity and there should be a separate but related front to directly intervene in electoral politics. As a result, PPF was launched in 2004. 2005 campaign against slum demolition in Mumbai and formation of an alliance of organizations working on slum issues. Zhopdi Bachao Sanyukt Kirti Samiti was also organized. Thank you.